Right, welcome back everyone. I'm Kalen and I am continuing on reading Glory Hounds. I may have accidentally recorded this without recording my voice already, so this is take 2. So hopefully that means this will be even better than my first take. No pressure. Alright, so we're catching back up with Alex. Late for work. Excuse me, passing through. Hey, watch it. Sorry. Whoever said they hate Mondays has clearly never experienced a Saturday in Shippersburg. Leave your way through the never-ending crowd of tourists and Dodge cyclists who never heard of traffic lights long enough, and I'm sure anyone would agree. Not to mention the noise. I'd cut through the canals, but even those are so thick with people I can't see the bottom. Once I finally near the tram stop, I'm all but sprinting, barely looking where I'm going. It's a mistake I regret almost immediately. Ah! A whirlwind of paper scatters to the floor as I collide with a woman walking the other way. I land right on my tailbone, pain ripping through my body. The woman's still standing, with barely a scratch it seems. She's staring right at me, but she doesn't look angry at least. Hard to tell behind those glasses. Good heavens, are you quite alright, love? Her voice is soft, high-pitched, almost princess-like. I'm sorry. I expect to be scolded, but all I hear is a soft giggle. No harm done. It seems we were both a little lost in thought, weren't we? She reaches out, helping me get back up. Her grip's pretty strong for such a small lady. I dust myself off, a scrap of paper that was sticking to my jeans fluttering to the ground. I manage to nab it just before it flies out of reach. Looks like some sketches of people. The paper's frayed and yellowed. It must be pretty old. Nice drawing. Oh, this isn't my work. I'm just bringing these over to the office. I hand it back to her and kneel down on the ground to help her gather the rest of the papers, which she organizes and stuffs neatly into a worn-looking satchel. Some of these look like letters, others look like notes. Only some are written in Batavian. Not just any Batavian either. Old Batavian. This stuff's 100 years old at least. Once the lady's gathered all the papers, she closes her satchel and proceeds to beam brightly at me. Thank you so much for your help, sir. Hey, it was my fault to begin with. What kind of job has you carrying around things like that anyway? If it's not yours, I mean. Oh, nothing special, really. I'm the curator of Opgedoekt, the art gallery. Wow. We have an assortment of works from artists all over the world, past and present, famous and unknown. Nothing special? Sounds like a cushy gig to me. I've heard about it. With the expensive dress, right? The money talks, Count. Yes. Another giggle. One of many fine pieces in our collection, as I'm sure you're aware. Really? I've never been. Really now? In that case, you should absolutely come by sometime. We'd be more than happy to have you. No admission required. But I'm a stranger, isn't that, Oh my gosh, where are my manners? She grabs my hand immediately, shaking it hard. I'm Fenna. No last name? I'm Alex. Presto, we're no longer strangers. Delighted to meet you. You still seem a little strange to me. I hear a word beside me and spot the tram arriving at the stop from the corner of my eye. Oh, there's my ride. I suppose I should be on my way as well. She lets go of my hand, and when I open it, sure enough, there's a ticket for 2 to the art gallery. God, First a store robbery, then a weird dream, and now a guerrilla marketing trick? What is my life anymore? It was, nice meeting you, Fenna. Likewise, Mr. DeRoy. With a wave, she continues on, and it's only once I'm on the tram that I realize I never told her my last name. What in the... By the time I step off the tram and get to the office, I'm already tired, out of breath, and more than a little achy. So, just like any other workday, really. I still haven't checked my phone. If I'm gonna be fired, I want to be fired in person. I so hope I don't get fired. Why didn't I just call in sick? It's flu season, right? Plenty of people get sick this time of year. I watch the automatic doors open like a prisoner watching a guillotine's blade being raised. I shudder and step forward, waving at a turtle passing me without looking. I hear the familiar clinking of Lou's teaspoon before I see them, sitting behind the reception desk, looking anywhere but at the door until I clear my throat. Alex! Where have you been? It's almost 11! It's a long story, believe you me. You tell me. First I have to read online that you stopped a robbery last night? I swear I was gonna tell you. And now I have your supervisor breathing down my neck, asking about you. Do you have any idea how long I had to cover for you? I don't know. 2 hours! Who does he think I am, your nanny? I tried calling, but you wouldn't pick up. Their frantic stirring finally slows down. I was worried, you know? I'm sorry. They look me up and down. It's okay. Must have been a shitty night for you. You don't know the half of it. Thanks for covering for me. You want to thank me? Grab me a new coffee. They lift their cup. This one's gotten cold. This is it. I've passed this office 1,000 times before. But in my 10 years working here, I've only been in once. I was usually on time until today. Mostly well behaved until today. Typically wore the uniform until today. Alright, no other choice. I go in expecting the worst. It turns out, even that was optimistic. A few minutes of verbal abuse later, and I find myself in the hallway again. Unemployed. Years of loyal service right down the shitter. My ears are still ringing. My supervisor was yelling loud enough for the entire floor to hear. No point sticking around here anymore, I guess. I hope I can somehow avoid Lou on the way out. I'm in no mood to talk to anyone right now. I start to make my way back to the elevator when I notice a guy standing just down the hallway. A Rottweiler, shorter than I am, but a lot stockier. He's dressed more formally than most of the people around the office, which makes him stand out quite a bit. Great. He'll definitely have heard that little exchange. At least, I think so. He's engrossed in a comic book right now, though his eyes do flick in my general direction when I stomp towards him. I really don't feel like talking to anyone. I just want to get to the elevators. Rough day on the job? Great, just what I was hoping for. He flips another page. It's not an issue I've seen before. Mm-hmm. Wanna talk about it? I feel like I know that voice, or rather, I feel like I should know that voice, but I'm so frazzled I can't recall a thing. And not really, no. Weird thing to ask someone you don't know. Is that true? From what I could hear out in the hallway, it got pretty heated in there. Of course he heard it. As if this morning hasn't been humiliating enough already. I got fired, okay? Happy now? He finally looks up from the comic, eyebrows furrowed. Fired? I wasn't expecting... I mean, I'm so sorry. Yeah, so if you don't mind, I'm just gonna go home. Shop for a box of tissues and a bucket of ice cream along the way. Maybe 2 buckets. I think they're on sale this week. Ah, right. Well, don't let me keep you. He does a little curtsy, comic book in hand. I only feel slightly mocked. I'll see you around, Spot. Spot? His voice sounded a little different that time. Almost like... I freeze, but he's already walking off, turning his head one more time to look at me. You're free the rest of the day. Might I suggest visiting Opgedukt? They have a stunning new collection on display that can really turn a bad day around. What? He turns the corner. Hey, wait! I try to follow him, but he's nowhere to be seen. He called me Spot. Surely he couldn't be... Was he the guy from last night? Nothing in that conversation made sense. He looked like he was waiting for me, but how did he know I'd be here? At this time? I did tell the Dawn Hound character I worked in repairs at Brevard. But why would someone like him come here just to gloat about me getting canned? All he did was give me a clumsy, cryptic message. Turn a bad day around. I fished the ticket Fenna gave me earlier out of my pocket. It looks normal enough to me. I turn it around in my palm. There's something handwritten on the back. I hadn't noticed it before with all the commotion and getting fired from my lifelong job, but it's definitely there. It's an address in Shippersburg, but not one I know off the top of my head. Somewhere in the freshwater district. It's underlined with a fancy signature in 2 words. Signed, D.H. Dawnhound. So definitely the masked suit vigilante. I'm not seriously contemplating going to an address scribbled on the back of a card given to me by a total stranger, am I? I look at my supervisor's office door. Right. Nothing left to lose, anyway. But first, I'd better stop by reception. Maybe Lou knows something. Company gossip rarely gets past them. I approach the reception desk, probably for the last time. Lou is sipping a cup of coffee as always, glued to the reception's holographic screen. I clear my throat. Alex! So, how did it go? Let's just say we can hang out a lot more from now on. Because my schedule's completely clear for the foreseeable future. They frown. I'm so sorry, Alex. I tried to smooth things over as best as I could. Don't know what I'm gonna do now. I can help you look for job postings later if that helps. There's plenty of people in the city who could use a hand. I'll take just about anything, even your desk job offer. That desperate? Very. We'll see. How about I take you out on a night in town? Just the 2 of us. Thanks, Lou. That sounds great. And we'll go see that musical. That sounds less great. They laugh. What about your kids? I'll get my sister to watch after them for a night. Shouldn't be a problem. I'll give you a call later. Just take it easy for now. Notice I've been getting sidetracked. Actually, there's something important I wanted to ask you. Lou's ears perk up. A dead giveaway they're hungry for some juicy news. Did you see a Rottweiler come by the reception earlier by any chance? Fancy clothes, pretty buff, kinda handsome. Lou looks pensive and takes another sip of coffee. Not that I recall. That's odd. They usually notice everything. And the main entrance is the only way into the building for security reasons. Not to mention the clearance needed to use the elevators. You trying to score a hot date? I don't dip my pen in company ink, Lou. Does it count as company ink now that I'm unemployed? Technically not, right? They raise an eyebrow at me. Last year's delivery guy would beg to differ. I know it sounds crazy, but there was something off about him. Probably just one of the new hires. I haven't heard anything about new hires. Only new fires as far as I'm concerned. Well, we are expanding. You look kind of old to be new here. And, well, rich. You had a suitcase and everything. They lower their voice and put down their cup. What? You think Brevard showed up to personally send you on your merry way? Their tone is sarcastic, but it still leaves me wondering. I'm not sure. Wait, you don't seriously think... I gotta go. Catch you at the Han? I'll keep a seat warm for you. Thanks. I turn for the exit. Turn right, and your destination will be on your left. I'm pretty far from civilization now. I mean, I am nearing city limits. Nothing but farmland out this way. There weren't even any train or tram stops nearby either. I had to walk for 30 minutes just to get here. And for what? I don't see anything even remotely resembling a hero's hideout here. Just an ancient-looking house with an overgrown yard behind a rusty old gate. Actually, that's pretty high up on the potential hideout spot list. Still, this is the address written on the ticket. I yank the gate open. The banshee-like shriek of the old metal is painful. It shuts behind me. No turning back now. Walking down the cobblestone path leading up to the mansion, I pass statues that have all seen better days. They each depict canines in combat poses, some carrying weapons that have lost their edge. These look older than the stuff I see at the museum. Maybe it's just my nerves, but I feel like they're watching me, judging me. I sure as hell hope this place isn't haunted. I reach the front door, which looks like something straight out of a historical drama. It's got no doorbell, just a big old pair of knockers. No signs of life inside from what I can see through the windows. No cars that I can see either. I knock on the door. I must be going insane. Complete silence. Did my GPS lead me astray? I knock again. This time, I swear I can at least hear something inside, barely audible over the sound of the rain starting to trickle out of the sky behind me. I'm about to declare the mission a bust when, with a loud creak, the door finally opens, bathing me in a warm light and bringing me face to face with the largest crow I've ever seen in my life. He's dressed to the nines. No, tens. Face and beak scratched and scarred. His face is framed rather nicely by a pair of glasses. I guess this is the butler? A very dashing butler who looks almost... how should I put it? Nerdy? His eyes drill into the very core of my being. I'm taller than most, but I actually have to look up at him slightly. I feel small next to him. Insignificant. Scared. I mentioned catching a glimpse of his bulging muscles, but that's all I see. Muscles. Guess household chores are good for something. Good afternoon. What can I do for you? A Roos accent. So this is the guy Donhound was talking to. Combined with his deep voice, it only makes him more imposing. Hi, I'm... Master already donates to charities. I'm not here for donations. I got this... Master has no interest in essential oils or herbal supplements either. God, no, look. I'm Alex DeRoy. I got this ticket with an address on it telling me to come here. It's only now that I realize how stupid that sounds. Someone shoot me. Is the robber from yesterday still around? Give me ticket. Wait, he bought it? I fish the ticket out of my pocket and pass it over. He scans the back of it with one eye, and the other remains strangely still. He gives me a once-over. We have been waiting for you. There's a hint of warmth in his voice, now that wasn't there before. If I wasn't still a nervous wreck, I'd say it was almost alluring. Maybe it's the accent. You have? For quite some time, yes. He steps aside, holding the door open for me. Hurry, there is storm coming. You don't gotta tell me twice. Right. Don't want your place to smell like wet dog. Do not worry, I am used to it. I settle past him. He smells like citrus and pepper. I don't know if it's cologne or something he's been cooking. Definitely not a bad scent. The foyer is richly decorated. Beautiful red walls lined with dark wooden doors and bookcases that are all completely stacked, like a library from a fantasy book. My eyes are drawn to an impressive bust of a canine sitting in an alcove on the far wall. Unlike the statues outside, this one seems to have retained its original bronze color. But just like the statues outside, it stares right at me, its eyes following me no matter which direction I look at it from. I will fetch Master. Please wait here, and do not touch anything under any circumstances. I will be back shortly. Yes, sir. As he turns away, I can't help but notice his very defined features. He carries himself with elegance, especially for such a large man. He leaves through one of the doors, his footsteps echoing around the large room. Instantly, I feel compelled to explore. I know he literally just told me not to touch anything, but I've never been in a rich people house before. There's just so much to see. Pretty sure I could spend a year in this place and not get bored. I scan the shelves, looking for anything that catches my eye. Are these comic books? They sure look like comic books. This one has the entire Stinger collection. Would they notice if I snuck an issue home with me? Focus, Alex. Don't touch anything. A minute passes, then another. That ticking clock's starting to get on my nerves. I try some of the doors, but they're all locked, even the one the butler went through. I was kind of looking forward to snooping. My eyes fall on the bus again. It's still staring at me with those empty bronze eyes, almost begging for me to investigate. Walking up to it, I catch a familiar scent. Ginger and lime, just like the Donhound last night. While the rest of the ample bust is practically sparkling, there's a noticeable smudged handprint right on top of its head. I tilt my head. It's bothering me. I roll my sleeve over my hand and place it on the dog's head. Before I can get to scrubbing, I hear a loud click. The bus gives way under my paw, head shaking a little bit, just like I pressed a button. I'm about to step back when all of a sudden... Ah! The floor drops out under me. I try to stop myself, but I've built up too much momentum. The chute light structure evens out into a slide, and I'm hurtling down at maximum velocity. I keep screaming, but after a while there's no air left in my lungs. These have been the worst 24 hours of my entire life. By the time I hit a soft surface at the bottom, I'm all but traumatized. Eyes still shut tight. Wow, 3 minutes and 34 seconds. The voice is distant, but there's no mistaking it. That's the Dawn Hound. I believe you owe me 20 euros, sir. And the butler, too. Uh-huh. I push myself up, but my arms are still shaking, and I just end up collapsing on the padded, leathery floor again. I can't believe what I see when I open my eyes. It's like the set of a sci-fi flick in here. Screens showing security footage in city streets. Machines, buttons, flashing lights, and levers everywhere. The air is so stuffy in here, it's almost hard to breathe. The butler's manning a large computer at the far end of the room. There's what appears to be a ventilation system along the ceiling, and a thick metal pipe leading down into the floor. Is this part of the mansion too? Just how far below ground are we? Just what was that slide? Need a hand, Spot? I'm so distracted I don't notice the fuzzy brown hand reaching out to me. I look up at its owner. Come to think of it, I feel dumb for not recognizing him at the office earlier. I scramble to my feet, just glad I'm still in one piece after that. Sore all over, though. You probably have a lot of questions. A few thousand, at least. Yeah, a couple. What the hell is going on here? And I'd be more than happy to answer them. At least someone's tail is wagging. Okay, who are you? Why, I'm known as the Dawn Hound. I mean, who are you really? Right. I suppose I haven't properly introduced myself yet. The butler swivels his swanky office chair around. I advise you not to divulge any unnecessary information, sir. Christ's sake, Milo. He deserves to know. Name's Raoul. Raoul Brevard, CEO of Brevard Enterprises. The sparkling ray of sunshine over there is my butler, Milo Dropstock. Right, Breva. Did you say Raoul Brevard? The Brevard? Think of the future, think of Brevard? My boss? That's you? In the flesh. This is a joke, right? Where are the cameras? My eyes dart between the dog and the bird, waiting for them to laugh and admit it, but they don't. My eyes are darting all over the room, scanning for hidden camera crews. Alright, you can all come out now. I feel like a clown. This was a mistake. A lot to take in, I know, but it's all true. But no one's ever seen Brevard in person. Precisely. We'll better cover identity for a mass vigilante. No one would suspect the reclusive millionaire with zero media presence. In comic books, I'd say that's usually the first person to suspect. But now that I'm actually seeing it in real life, I'm utterly floored. You're serious, aren't you? I just told you. I'm Raoul. He laughs, then notices I'm not joining him, and stops. Behind him, the butler, Milo, rubs his beak with a groan. Yes, quite serious. Tough crowd. Does this guy think he's a comedian or something? I can't take this anymore. This isn't funny. I traveled halfway across the city to some huge mansion that can't decide if it's fancy or dilapidated. Then I tumbled down a magic slide into an overgrown basement with security screens everywhere that apparently belongs to one of the richest people in the city. My former employer, who apparently fancies himself a pro wrestler slash crime fighter at night and sends me on a breadcrumb trail to a secret lair of his. My gestures are as wild as my mind is. And you're acting like we've just had a casual job interview at the office. What the hell is all of this? I've had the worst day of my life, and before I can continue my incoherent blathering, the Rottweiler puts his paw firmly on my shoulder. He's strong. The look on his face is serious now.
Alex, please calm down.
There's kindness and concern in his eyes.
I'm sorry. This is probably a lot to take in. I hadn't quite considered that this must all be very unusual for you.
That's an understatement if I've ever heard one. I nod. His face softens back into a smile, though not as goofy as before.
There is a reason for everything, I promise. Just hear me out.
I feel like I'm about to cry. I take a deep breath. Alright, Mr. Brevard.
No need for formalities.
Raoul. What is this place? Why am I here?
We are currently at secret location, about 50 meters underground. Every hero needs a lair. As for the why, you're here because I want to make you an offer.
What kind of an offer?
You remember what happened last night?
At the store? He nods. How could I not?
What if I told you that was only one of many recent incidents?
He paces towards the row of screens, hands on his back.
It's not just the Saltwater Syndicate at work. They're part of a bigger picture. A civilian such as yourself might not notice it, but there are cracks starting to form in our beautiful city.
I mean, it's a big city with almost 1 million people. You think crime is just part of the deal. Isn't that what the police are for? Why fight crime yourself? He turns his head toward me. The glare from the screen hits his glasses, and I can't see his eyes behind them.
Mrs. De Bruin is only one of hundreds of innocents targeted this past year alone. Someone needs to take a stand. Protect the folks the police can't, or won't. Alex DeRoy, last night you showed exemplary courage. Recklessness. Regardless, you saved the life of an innocent woman, as well as my own. I'd like to invite you to join my cause as my assistant. My sidekick, if you will.
My jaws officially hit the floor. When I try to force words out, all I can do is stammer and stutter.
You're free to refuse, of course, and pretend this never happened. Milo will take you home. I'll see what I can do to smooth things over with your supervisor, and you can continue living your everyday life.
Is that what you want? Would you rather be part of something bigger? He turns back to me, a hand extended. I look down at it, then back up at him. He's got the same goofy grin on his face as he did last night. Something bigger. I've been stuck so long that just hearing those two words feels like reaching the light at the end of a long tunnel. But then I think back to how it felt helping Mrs. De Bruin last night. How terrified I was. How I almost died. Multiple times. I can't see myself living in fear like that and coming out with a grin that big. Why did I come here in the first place? I bat his hand away. His face falls. I'm sorry. I can't accept this.
Why not?
I'm not cut out for it like you are. I don't think I've ever been as terrified as I was last night.
Believe me, I wouldn't be offering you this job if I didn't think you were the right man for it.
Well, I'm not the right man, okay? I sigh. I'm just a fuck-up who dropped out of college because things got too difficult. I'm sure you can do better than that for a sidekick.
That's not true.
You said I could refuse. I refuse. It's all just getting too much for me. I look past him, at the crow who's gone back to typing on his computer. Hey, can you tell me where the exit is?
There is elevator to your right.
Okay, thanks.
At least let him drive you home.
I walked over here. I can walk back. Just need to clear my head. I dust myself off and brush him aside, tipping my head to Milo as I hit what I assume to be the elevator button. The door opens. It's a pretty small elevator for a place this big. I guess it's only built for 2 people at a time. There's only one button. Up. Good. I'm sorry I couldn't help you. I step inside.
Spot.
The doors close. I pull on the drawstrings of my hoodie. It's gotten way too cold for comfort. What time is it even? Not that it matters. I don't have anywhere to be without a job anyway. So I just walk. Before long, I've left the mansion behind me like a bad dream. As populated as the city streets were this morning, they're completely abandoned now. Not surprising. The rain's coming down hard. That butler wasn't lying about the storm. The sky's almost black. I'm soaked to the bone. But none of that matters. Me, a sidekick. It sounds so amazing on the surface, doesn't it? To be a hero. Someone people look up to for protection. A beacon of hope. But that's just how it is in the comics. It's so different in real life. I could have died in Mrs. De Bruyne's shop. More importantly, she could have died if I'd fucked up in there. And this masked vigilante thinks I'm cut out for this business just because I didn't chicken out? Today I showed I can't even keep a job, so how does he expect me to keep other people alive? Even at my job, my former job, I was too timid to seize the day. Just doing what I was told to do, trying to keep a low enough profile to not get in any trouble with my permanently scowling supervisor. I always did a decent job, and that had always been good enough for me. The one time I was in line for something resembling a promotion, I just balked because I didn't know if I could handle the responsibility. Lou and Willem tried so desperately to get me to reconsider, and I've always wondered if I might have had a more successful career if I'd taken that chance. The difference is that if I mess up in repairs, no one dies. Thankfully, even my supervisor's list can't kill anything other than my self-esteem. Fighting criminals and saving people, though, it's not just my life on the line. What if I mess up badly enough? What I need is some time to figure things out. I'll find an opportunity again eventually. I head into the nearest store to get some much needed comfort food. Mostly just ice cream. A couple days chilling on the couch with Max will do me good. The hero's life is probably overrated anyway. But What if this is my one chance at a better life? What if I really could be more? Something good finally falls into my lap and I turn tail? It's exactly why I've been at the same shit job since high school. It's not like I'd be thrown in the deep end as a sidekick. I'd be learning the ropes from a pro and getting paid for it. At least I was hoping he was gonna pay me. I wanted to take Rule up on his offer. I really did. But I was so confused and scared and hopeless, like always. Everyone around me thinks I'm capable of more. Lou, Willie, even Raul. Am I the only one who can't see it? Do I have it in me to take that big of a leap of faith? My mind continues to wander. Wondering if I made the wrong call. Wondering if I'll ever have a chance like this again. If I'll ever even have a job again. If anyone would even care. Fuck! I say it loudly, almost shouting into the void. The only thing that scares me more than jumping into the deep end is being left alone at the edge of the cliff after everyone's already gone in. And deep down, I know I'll regret it for the rest of my life if I don't do this. I guess that settles it. Do it. I'm going back. I just hope it's not too late. The mansion looks even creepier than before with these dark clouds hovering up above. Lightning cracks in the distance as I open the rusty old gate. It gets stuck in the mud, leaving only a tiny space for me to slip through. Statues along the path seem to actually, honest to God, turn their heads as I walk by. At this point, I'm pretty sure they've got cameras installed in them. Or maybe I'm on the brink of a major meltdown. I hurry to the front door, slipping and sliding over the wet cobblestone. Hello? I bang on the door. It's me, Alex! Open up! No answer. Please! I step back from the door. I'm so exhausted, my tongue's lolling out of my muzzle. Please, just give me one more chance. I hear a laugh coming from behind the door, and then it finally opens. After being outside in the dark for so long, the bright light coming from inside practically blinds me. Milo stands in the doorway. He regards me with what looks like a scowl. I can't really tell emotions when it comes to Beaks. 14 minutes and 36 seconds. His expression softens, and he steps aside, holding the door open. Less than an hour. I believe you owe me another 20 euros, sir. Raul comes into view with folded arms and the toothiest of smiles. I can't help but smile back at them. A small price to pay. Welcome home, Spot. Or should I call you Duskhound? A Duskhound? Came up with it while you were gone. He is very proud of it. Didn't hear any ideas from you, smartass. Only because it is difficult to match creative genius such as yourself, Master Brevard. That sounds good to me. Really? Really? I mean, it is only the opposite of dawn. There are other options to consider. Yeah, Duskhound it is. Well, Duskhound. Fancy a cup of coffee? We'll just put some on. I like that a lot. I brought ice cream.
Issue 1, end. Yeah, I think I did pretty good on that second attempt. Maybe it's okay that I lost the first one. So that's issue 1 of Glory Hounds by Echo Project. Credits all up on the screen. I'll probably work on doing issue 2 after the holiday. I don't imagine I'll get anything done until like Monday, so next week. Thanks for watching. See you next time.